737 MAX 8 headed for Nairobi, Kenya, crashed just 6 minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa, moments after the pilot declared an emergency. Data transmitted by the plane showed very erratic vertical speed as the crew struggled to control the plane, eerily similar to the crash of Lion Air Flight 610 off Indonesia last October. That plane also a Boeing MAX 8. Now 22 airlines and a handful of countries, including Ethiopia, Indonesia, and China, are grounding the MAX 8 until the investigation determines whether the crashes are related. Sky News reporter John Sparks is at the scene.
The big question here is, has the same thing happened, or is it just a statistical anomaly that we have here? The same aircraft crashing in a short period of time.
Investigators in Ethiopia have recovered the plane's black boxes. They'll look for indications the pilots struggled with the trim of the aircraft, holding it level. A preliminary investigation into that crash in Indonesia suggests those pilots struggled to pull the nose up as a malfunctioning computer program pushed the nose down. The Indonesian pilots were not informed of that new system on the MAX known as MCAS. Boeing insisted all 737 pilots should have known how to disengage the system.
So what I do, immediately turn over these switches and cut the motor out. And as you can see, it stopped the trim.
But many U.S. airlines and pilots complained Boeing never told them of the new system. Boeing has since sent out bulletins to MAX pilots informing them of how to react. But many veteran pilots say in an actual emergency, they're not sure they'd remember.
As a pilot, I'd feel very awkward or uncomfortable about flying this airplane, knowing that that potential is out there until this investigation runs its course.
Worldwide, there are 354 MAXs in service, flown in North America by Air Canada, American, Southwest, WestJet, and Sunwing. United flies the MAX 9, a longer version of the same plane. Today, those airlines said they're watching the investigation, but so far, the 737 MAX has been very reliable. Boeing says it has no new guidance for the airlines, but underscored safety is our #1 priority, and we are taking every measure to fully understand all aspects of this accident, working closely with the investigating team and all regulatory authorities involved. Among the 8 Americans who died in Ethiopia, Georgetown law student Cedric Asivugwa, flying to Kenya for his fiance's mother's funeral.
Cedric was, at heart, full of hospitality. He made them feel welcomed and at home immediately.
Meanwhile, with other countries and airlines grounding the plane, the FAA tonight says its team is in Ethiopia, and if we identify an issue that affects safety, the FAA will take immediate and appropriate action.
Pressure's on the FAA. The world's regulators are looking. We need to get the data from the black boxes, and we need to get it soon.
Late today, the FAA said it expects to issue urgent design changes, order them for the 737 MAX 8 by the end of April. Meanwhile, Boeing CEO says they are confident in the 737 MAX safety record, and they are in fact urging and improving, I should say, the support for the team. Lester?
Tom, you've covered a lot of these. You know, investigators like to be methodical and not be rushed, but there seems to be a great urgency in here to get that info from the black boxes. How soon might we see a readout?
We had hoped to have that within 48 hours, but at this hour, it's unclear who's going to be doing the readout on those black boxes. Will it be the Ethiopians? Will it be the Europeans? Or will those black boxes come here to Washington and the NTSB lab? But you're right. We've got airlines and governments around the world desperate to find out whether there's some sort of a fatal flaw with this top-selling plane.
Yeah, a lot of folks anxious to know why. Tom Costello, thank you. There is more development.